Hi everyone, I'm Chris from Fastlane Academy, and today I'm going to show you how to find products to sell on Amazon. Now, there's still a lot of outdated YouTube videos, blog posts, and training courses out there that teach you to go after these high competition products that have little to no profit margins and are really difficult to compete with. Now, this can absolutely wreck your Amazon business. So today, I'm going to show you the right way to find products, and we're going to uncover a low competition product that generates over 6 figures in net profits from just that one single product. So let's jump over to the computer and dive right in. Now, there's going to be two different ways you can do this, and the first way I'm going to show you is the manual method. Now, the upside to this is that you don't need any paid tools or software to do this, but the downside is that it's going to take you a lot of time, and there's a good chance you might miss some really good product opportunities. But I want to show you both ways, and then you can determine for yourself which way you want to do this. So first thing you want to do is download a free Chrome extension called DS Quick View. And you can just Google DS Quick View Chrome extension, and it should take you to this page right here. Once again, absolutely free. So download that because we are going to need it. And the reason why we're going to need it is because we're going to be using the bestseller rank, or BSR, that Amazon assigns every product to find out basically how many units each product is selling per month. So if you have this extension, then what it does is it displays them on the search page of Amazon instead of having to click on each listing individually. So let me show you what that looks like. So if we were looking, say, for vitamin C serum, then normally what you'd have to do is you'd have to click on the product listing, and then you'd have to scroll all the way down here to product details right here, and boom, okay, we have the bestseller ranking. Now, when you are looking at dozens or hundreds of products, that gets extremely tedious. So what DS Quick View does is, you can see here, it displays the BSR under each listing, saving you a ton of time. It's one of the greatest extensions ever created, in my opinion. So anyway, so go ahead and get that downloaded and running, and then you're also going to want to download another free Chrome extension called Helium 10. And actually, I'm going to put the links to both of those down below this video, so that way it's a lot easier for you. Just click on the link, it'll take you right to DS Quick View and right here to Helium 10. You can download both of those, and Helium 10 has a calculator inside it that's going to figure up all the Amazon fees, and the net profit's going to also save us a ton of time as we're doing this. So like I said, I'll leave the links below. Grab those, and then you're ready to go. So here we are on Amazon, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up the main page of sports and outdoors. So give me just a moment to pull up that category. And so what I'm going to do, it's actually a little bit easier, believe it or not, rather than poking around in Amazon. They don't make it easy anymore. If you just Google Amazon bestsellers, sports and outdoors, or I'm sorry, actually, we are not looking for Amazon bestsellers. We're just looking for Amazon sports and outdoors. Okay, so that's a little bit quicker. So if you're going to do this manually, what you're going to do is you may have a specific product that you're looking for, and in that case, you just type it in, of course, and you go. But a lot of times, people have no idea what they want to do. And so what you want to start with, if you're going to do this manually, is you want to start with a category. Now, there's a lot of categories that you can sell in, but some of them are restricted. And it can be really tough to get approved in some of those restricted categories, especially if you're a brand new seller. So what you want to do is, once again, you can just Google Amazon restricted categories. It'll list them all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use sports and outdoors because this category is not restricted or gated, so you could jump right into selling this. So if you didn't know what you were looking for, then what it does is when you pull up these main category pages, is it gives you a few subcategories. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of these, and we're going to be off to the races here. So let's just go with golf. Okay, and then it's even going to pull us more subcategories, and then you can go from here. Now, I like staying away from products that are really big and bulky because they cost a lot to ship, and they can be a nightmare storage wise. So I like to pick smaller products. So in this case, let's start here with accessories. Now, here's what we're looking for. We're looking for products that have preferably 50 reviews or less, but no more than 100. And the reason is because reviews are really hard to get legitimately. There's some black hat tactics out there, but you don't want to do those to get reviews because Amazon's getting very wise to those, and they have zero tolerance for getting reviews illegitimately, and they'll shut you down, ban you for life if they catch you. So, uh, when you first launch your product, it's going to take you a little while just to even get 5 to 10 reviews. Now, if all of your competitors have hundreds or even thousands of reviews, you're going to have a really tough time competing with them because people are just going to choose the other products. But if you have, say, 5 to 10 reviews, it's really easy to compete with products that have, 50 especially, but even up to 100 because there's not such a massive difference between yours and theirs. And that's just how customers buy. It's just part of the deal when you sell on Amazon. So generally look for something 50 to 100 reviews. Now you also want the sales price to be at least $10 to $12 minimum, because there's really not going to be hardly any profit margin left if you go with any product price less than that. So we also want to pick products that are relatively small and light, like I just said, so we don't have to pay a fortune in shipping from China, and then the Amazon fulfillment fees and storage fees are a lot higher, and those really eat into your margin. And then finally, we're looking for products that have a BSR of 10,000 or less, because any higher than that, and there's just not enough monthly sales volume to really make it worth your while. So as we keep those things in mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through here, and right out of the gate, all these guys are over 100. And so as I go down the page, let's just look at a few options. Now these guys are right at 100, but these are a major brand name, which I like to stay away from because a lot of people buy. Callaway's a big name in golf if you don't know anything about golf, and um, this is something, anytime it's a branded product, I would stay away from it because a lot of people just buy it because of the brand. You could launch the same thing and even be a few dollars less, and they would still outsell you because of their brand dominance. So anyway, we're going to keep going here. Now, there's an option right here. This looks like no brand name whatsoever, and they only have 19 reviews. So everything's looking good here, and they are 53.86 in sports and outdoors. So here we go. This could possibly be something. So we're going to click on that. And so now, as we get to this page, this is something that you could look into, but the thing that I don't like about it is it has a ton of variations here. And in this case, I really don't like, I don't mind stocking a few variations, but not a ton like this. This is, this can really turn into a nightmare. So I like to stay away from it if they have more than, say, 3 variations in general. So I don't really like that one. So let's keep moving on. And as we go down the page, here's something else, 15 reviews. So let's take a look at these. Same thing, it's close. They have several colors, and they have several variations of size. So, you're talking, 3 different sizes and 5 colors in each size. That means they're stocking 15 different products. So I don't like that either. That's just too much risk and too much trouble, to be honest with you. So let's look at one more and see if we can find something here. Now these guys have 42 reviews. That's pretty good. That's less than 50. And this is actually really interesting because it's $13 to $20. Now normally when you see a price range like this, there's going to be some variations to choose from, and then it will determine the price. But that's what's odd, is that there are no variations. I've actually never seen this in the 6 years I've been doing this. So, and it won't let us add it to the cart either. That's weird. All right, well, I guess we can't look into this. Something is going on with that. Amazon won't even let us buy it. So, all right, so let's keep going. We're going to look for, here's some bamboo tees. So let's look at those. And this one's not too bad. It has 3 variations, 3 different sizes, but they're all the same color. So this might not be too bad. So let's just say we went with a 3-inch. Okay, these are $10. And so now here's what we're going to do. we're going to take that and we are going to go and use a website, which is what most Amazon sellers use, called Alibaba. If you haven't heard of it, just go to alibaba.com and then you just type in what you are looking for, which in this case, we're looking for bamboo golf tees. So let's put that in. And what we're trying to get is we're trying to get an estimated cost on this. Now, there's a few things you want to look at when you're on Alibaba. You want to look at manufacturers that have a MOQ, or this minimum order here, of at least 500 to 1,000. Because what happens a lot of times is you see, well, you probably won't see it with golf tees because they're so tiny, but we'll see it later when we do some other products where they'll have 1 to 10 pieces you can order. And what happens is when they have small minimum orders like that, they're really expensive. So you want to find, something that has at least 500 to 1,000. So that way what your best potential price is going to be. And you also want to look at the high end. Usually each product will have a range on it, and you'll see like a really good price and then a higher price. And that really good price is almost impossible to attain because that's usually when you buy, huge containers full, or 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000. I mean, it's really hard to get their best price. So for the estimation part of it, we're just going to use the higher end. So what I do is I like to go through here and get some averages because sometimes this is all over the board. And so here we have bamboo wood tees. High end is 3 cents a piece, 10,000 pieces. Now this was 175 packs, so that's 10,000. Sounds like a lot, but it's really not when each individual unit has 175 in it. So that's not bad, 3 cents. But what I like to do is I like to get at least 3 prices. These guys are, well, they're a lot more at 21 cents. So now here we go. Here's another bamboo one at 3 cents. So it looks like 3 cents is about what we're looking at. Yeah, here's some more. Those are colored, but those are 3 cents. So, all right. And then these are 0.028, which is 3 cents. So we can pretty much figure that 3 cents a piece is what we're going to pay for these. So now let's go back to that listing. Okay, and there it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to calculate 175, because that's how many is in the pack, of course, times 3. And that gives us $5.25. So that is what we are going to pay generally for this product. So now here's where that Helium 10 extension comes in. I'm going to click on that and it's going to load right here. And I'm going to go to profitability calculator. Okay, and what that does is that pulls in the dimensions of the product and the weight. And what it does is it checks against a database of the cost from shipping from China, and it gives you this unit freight cost down here. Now, you want to take a look at this generally, because sometimes this really undershoots it, but in this case, these are really small and light, and normally to ship anything from China, minimum is going to cost you 25 to 50 cents, in that range. So in this case, this is small and light, so that's probably about right. So all right, so unit manufacturing, this is the main part you need to put in here. So we know that these would cost $5.25. Now the software just kind of guesses, but this is where you put in your price. So we put in $5.25. And then now what you also have to remember is this is the estimated shipping from China. You also have to ship this once it lands here in the US or wherever you're at. You also have to ship it to Amazon's warehouse, and you have to get it stickered. So what I like to do is I like to add another 50 cents per unit for that. And so I'm going to change this price now to $5.75. Okay. And now we're going to look and see what the bottom line is. And now we know that this product is absolutely worthless. 92 cents. There is no profit in this. You would actually lose money. So this is definitely a no-go. So that's how you do it manually. You get the idea, and basically, like I said, if you know what you want to go after, you can type that in, or you can just pull up those categories. So for example, if you wanted to look at a different category, you could just say, you know, let's say it was patio, lawn, and garden. You would just put Amazon patio, lawn, and garden, and it will take you to the main page there. Same thing, and you get this grid so you can start looking through, you know, whatever it is you're interested in. And then you just remember those parameters and, you know, that you're looking for, and you can go in and start doing the math. Now, as you can see, this can get extremely tedious. You can spend days and days and days and not even get, you know, probably halfway through one category, if even that far. Probably only about maybe, you know, a tenth or a quarter of the way through a category. So, you know, this takes a tremendous amount of time, but it's free. And, you know, if you don't want to spend any money on paid tools, then that's certainly an option you can explore and see if you find. But now what I want to do is I want to take you over to the paid version of Helium 10, and I want to show you how fast and powerful this thing is, and it will save you literally weeks and weeks of, if not months, of your time. So let's jump over to that and I'll show you that. Okay, so here we are inside of Helium 10, and like I mentioned earlier, this is a paid tool, but after I show you this, I'm sure you'll probably agree that it is worth probably 5 to 10 times what they're charging for it. When you see what it can do for you. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link below to pick this up if you want it, and then if you use that link in the video below and you enter the promo code FLA, you're going to get 50% off your first month. And when I'm finished showing you this one tool, I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of all the other awesome stuff that it does. But for now, we're looking for product picking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go to this tool called the black box. Now what that does is this allows me to put in all of those things I was telling you before that you want to look for. It allows me to put the parameters in of what I would consider the perfect product, and it goes out and searches for me. So the nice thing here is that we can choose the category. That's the first thing we're going to do, and I can either pick, like if you only wanted to sell, let's say in the baby category, you can just choose that one category. But my recommendation, if you don't have any, if you're not completely set and non-negotiable on what category you want to sell in, I always suggest you keep your options open, because you want to follow the money, not your passion so much. I know that goes against what a lot of gurus say, and you can certainly make money if you're passionate about one category and that's all you want to do. But if your options are open to anything that is profitable, then you're going to uncover 10 times the opportunities and money that you would if you just pigeonhole yourself to one category. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check off some of the categories that are, to my knowledge, are not restricted. Now you can check these yourself, but let's go through, and I don't like some of these, and we're not going to go through, excuse me, every single one of these, but I'm just going to check off some of the major ones that are not restricted that I know of. So there we go. So now I've picked all these categories, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I don't want any product that doesn't do at least $10,000 a month in sales. And then for the price, remember earlier when I said you want a minimum of $10, you don't want to go any less than that on the selling price. Well, I like to put in a maximum of $40 here, because what happens is this puts you in a price range where it's not too expensive to source it from China. When you get in some of the high dollar items, it can cost you a lot more. So I like to put this price range in. You can put whatever you want, but that's just me. I like smaller, inexpensive items that are easy to source and low risk. So now remember the review count here. Minimum doesn't really matter, but what we want to do is I'm going to max this out at actually 50. Now remember I said earlier when we want, you know, you can go up to 100, but once again, I'm going to put my perfect product parameters in here, which would be 50, and then same thing, review rating, I'm going to leave that, and shipping size tier, I'm going to select small standard size, because that's the smallest tier you can get, and small and light products are very cheap to ship and the fees are very low, so it's a really good product to start with, especially if you don't have experience in Amazon yet. It's hard to go wrong with those. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this advanced filter, and you remember this BSR we were telling you about earlier. I'm going to put in that the maximum is going to be 10,000. That's as far as I want to go. And actually, you know what? Let's do 5,000 because this will give us some really great products. So I'm going to cap that at 5,000. So, and I'm sorry I didn't explain this earlier. The way BSR works is the lower the number, that means the more sales volume it's doing. So, you know, a product with a BSR of 100 can easily be selling hundreds of units a day. You know, and then the higher the BSR, the lower the daily sales volume is. So we'll go over that a little bit more in a minute when we use the tool to estimate exactly how many. So that's all I'm going to put in, and now I'm going to click search. And what Helium 10 is doing is it's going out and it's pulling all of that data, looking for products that I specifically put those parameters in. Now, as you can see, well over 200 products to go through, and what you can do is you can go through here and determine what kind of piques your interest. But what I like to do is I like to stay away from, like I said earlier, products that have a lot of colors or variations, because I don't want to have to stock, you know, 10 or 12 different colors. Or clothing, I don't do any clothing because the same thing, normally you got to stock a bunch of sizes. You have a lot of returns with those, so I like staying away from any of those tough products. So anyway, what you can do is you can go through this board, and the nice thing about this is we already know that, you know, we don't have to go through thousands of products searching manually trying to see if they meet these parameters. We know every single product that is on in this list of 200 plus meets that, is a potential, you know, item. So let's look right here. Here we go. This one looks pretty interesting. It's a 65 Cape copper rose gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the picture, and we're going to go over now. Looks can be deceiving because obviously look how many variations they have. They sell a lot of different cake toppers. So I don't really want to mess with this because I don't want to have to stock, you know, 12 or 15, however many this is. That's too much risk for me to get into. So let's just keep going down the list. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pause this video, and I'm going to jump back on when I find something that is interesting, so you don't have to sit here and watch me click through 10 or 20 products and evaluate them. So let me find a few that are interesting and profitable, and I will be right back. Okay, so it only took me about 3 minutes to find the first product that looked really interesting here. So what we've got here is we've got this fishing hook remover extractor. So when I click on the picture and I go to the Amazon listing, now they do have 4 different variations here. It's, you know, one more than I like to see, but it's really not that big of a deal. So what I'm looking for here, and I would imagine in this case they've got some you know, several different colors, and I would imagine that you could probably go with probably even one color and do just as well. But even if you wanted to stock 2 or 3, it still would not be a bad deal here. So let's figure the profitability. So I went over to Alibaba, and the closest thing I could find was this one right here, which is almost identical to that. Now, in this case, I couldn't find any suppliers that had more than 300 pieces for the minimum order. So this $4.35, we can probably get these, you know, way less than that when we start ordering larger quantities. But you know, let's just go with that price, $4.35. That would be an absolute worst case. But let's just go with that. I think you could probably get these for around $3 to $4, but we'll go with $4.35. So now what we're going to do, we're going to launch that Helium 10 plugin again and go to profitability calculator. Now, once again, we're looking at the unit freight cost from China. They kind of undershot this, in my opinion. 14 cents is extremely low. I would say, you know, just about anything is going to cost you at least 25 cents. So you want to, you know, do at least 25 cents for that, and then, you know, add another 50 cents to get it to Amazon, and now you're So what you want to do is you want to kind of go up here to your unit manufacturing cost. Okay. Remember we said this costs $4.35, and to get it from China to here, I like to actually overestimate. I actually, when I do unit freight costs, I calculate 50 cent to get it from China to here and 50 cent to get it to Amazon. And usually it's less than that, and I have a pleasant surprise, but very, very rarely do I undershoot that. Usually I'm way over. So, but it's a safe, method if you want to figure like a worst case. So what I'm going to do is the difference between 50 cent and 14 is 36. So I'm going to do 36 additional cent to get it from China to here, and then 50 cent to get it from there to Amazon. So I need to add 86 cent into this price. So let me calculate that real quick. 435 and 86 comes to 521. So this is, in my opinion, would be an absolute worst case scenario, would be $5.21. You probably get it way less than that. Now, here we go. This is more of what we're looking for. Now, see the net profits here? That's $5.73. Realistically, probably more between 6 and 7, but we're going to say $5.73. Now, that's a nice margin, but how do we know how much we're going to make off of this product every month? That's where the BSR comes in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the bottom of the page now, and we're going to look at that BSR. Now, this is 47.34 in sports and outdoors. Now, here's the interesting thing, is that this is actually out of stock right now. So their BSR when they're stocked is probably way better than that. So, but let's just figure it on 47.34, which is where they're at while they're out of stock. So here's where you want to go back to Black Box. The nice thing is they estimate the monthly sales based on the BSR in that category right here. So we already have this number. Okay, so, and then here's the BSR 47.34. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 861, which is about how many they sell per month. Actually, usually Helium 10 undershoots this a little bit. So this is a good safe number. Usually you're actually going to make more than this, but 861 units a month is how many they're selling. So our profit, once again, was $5.73. So $5.73 times 861 units a month is right at $5,000 a month. So here you go. Net profits $60,000 a year, which is more than what a lot of people make working full-time jobs. You could get from this one silly fishing product. So let me pause this video again, and I'm going to show you how crazy this is going to get, because we can find stuff like this all day long, and I've even found ones that make way more than that. So we're going to pull up two more, and let's see how crazy this gets. Okay, so it took me about 5 minutes to find a second product that looks really good, and this one actually looks phenomenal. And it's, surprisingly enough, it's actually still in the fishing category or niche. And here we have these bass fishing lures. So let me show you these real quick. So if we click on those and we go into this listing now, this is something, remember I told you earlier that I don't like anything with more than 3 variations, and these actually have, I think, 8. However, here's what they've done. They've put together these 3-packs, and they have 4 of the 3-packs. And then what they've done is they're not buying more products. What they've done is they've taken one, of these lures out of each pack, and they sell it individually. So, that's something. I can't imagine the single ones are probably doing that good. Maybe they are, but this really would, really you'd be stocking 4 if you wanted to carry all of these. Actually, in my opinion, and that's just because I actually fish quite a bit, is I probably wouldn't even stock all this many. But anyway, even if you wanted to, these guys here have they got 4 products, and they've split these individually. So really they've only sourced, these main ones. So anyway, let me just run these numbers for you real quick, because normally it would be something that I wouldn't want to get into, but you know, this is something you could actually even test with just one. You wouldn't have to carry all these variations. You could just do one of these, um, you know, and test it. And then if it takes off and sells well, you can start stocking the rest. But what I wanted to show you was how much of a profit is involved here. So let's go over to Alibaba again, and let's go to jointed bass lures. Okay. And as we go through here and we look, now here's 15 cent. This is for a 4-inch. So let's see what size these were. These were 4.9 actually, so that's pretty close. So let's go through and see if that's a normal price. So as we go through here, now these are $1.50 for 5, so it's quite a bit more here. Now these, yeah, this is 4-inch, this is 8-inch, but that's 220. So we're kind of getting prices all over the board. There's another 4-inch for 250, but they're at 200 pieces. So it looks like probably around $2 is going to be your average cost for these. So let me just look at them one more time. All these are actually the longer ones. So let's look and see. This is real close right here, but that's only 2 pieces. So we're looking for something a little more than that. Same thing, 2 pieces, $2 to $3. So it looks like these are around $2 is what we can kind of, well, there's 20 pieces. Those are $3. So, you know, as we go through here, let me see if there's anyone with a higher quantity, and there just isn't. Everybody's around. This 15 cent is probably too good to be true, but maybe not. I'm going to go with $2 because I know that is probably an absolute worst case because they're going for $3 for like 5, and here's 500 for $1.50. So actually, we know that we can get them for $1.50. So I'm going to go with $1.50 because this meets that minimum order quantity we were looking for. So we know 3 of these are going to cost us $4.50. So let's now go back and let's run the profitability calculator. So as we run that, we're going to say unit manufacturing, while they were really close on this, they were at 4. We're going to say 450. And as we go, once again, we go down here to the unit freight cost and it says 3 cent. That's not realistic at all. Once again, I'm going to calculate 50 cent from China to here and 50 cent from here to Amazon. That will more than cover it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go up here and add $1 in for that. So we're going to change this to 550. Now, all the rest of this information is accurate. Now, here's what I want you to look at. Look at the margin on these. $9. That is absolutely incredible margin. That's almost 50%, which is pretty rare on Amazon. So they're making $9 a piece. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and look at how many are they selling per month. There you go. Monthly sales, they're selling 1,219 units per month. So 1,219 times $9 is 10,971. That's right at $11,000 a month these guys are netting. That is well over $100,000 a year selling bass lures. Isn't that crazy? So this would be a phenomenal product to get started with. As you can see, you know, if you were going through everything manually through the sports and outdoors category, there's a good chance you would never find this. So that's what makes this software so awesome. Let me find one more and then we will wrap this up. Okay, so it took me about 3 more minutes and I came across this product right here, which is a bamboo toothbrush 8-pack. I don't know what the big draw is with bamboo toothbrushes, but there's something to it. So here we go. So it's an 8-pack and there's no variations, which is great. So it's just one product, one single ASIN to stock. So let's go over once again to Alibaba. I've already pulled this up to make it a little bit quicker. And bamboo toothbrushes, this actually looks like their exact supplier. It's like the same picture. So 30 cent. Now these guys are for 100 pieces. Normally we want like 1,000 or more, but that seemed to be the going rate everywhere, was right around 30 cents. So that's what we're going to go with. We'll go with 31 cents. So we know that's an 8-pack. So 31 cent times the 8-pack gives us $2. Oops, excuse me, $2.48. So let's now jump back here and let's run the Helium 10 profitability calculator again. And wow, how about that? They were right on the money. We got $2.48. They were almost right there. But once again, this unit freight cost is a little bit low. I like to say, once again, 50 cents each way, which is $1. So if we want to add $1 for our total freight, then we got about 89 cents we got to make up here. So let's add 89 cents to 248, which is what our cost was, and now we are at $3.37. So 337, and what we're left with after it's all said and done is $4.29. Not bad. You know, this isn't a six-figure product, but $4.29. Let's go back to how many they are selling. We're just going to round that off to 1,000. Because like I said, most of the time, Helium 10 kind of undershoots this. So 1,000 a month, 429. That's $4,300 a month. That is over $48,000 a year from bamboo toothbrushes. So, and actually, let me show you one more tool that you can use, just to kind of check. We got, let's see, the BSR is 4562, and it is in the, what category is this in? Beauty and personal care. So let's go over to, we're going to use another. This is Jungle Scout. They also have an estimator. You can go to junglescout.com and then you go to resources estimator tool, and it takes you to this page right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the BSR in, which was, I forgot already. I think it was 4,600. Let's just take a look real quick. Yeah, 40. We'll round up. 4,600 United States, and we are in the beauty category. So let's see what they say estimated. Oh, they are way more. 1,400 a month is what they're saying, and that's why I said Helium 10 undershoots this sometimes. So even if you split the difference and said, okay, Helium 10 is saying 1,000 and Jungle Scout is saying more like 1,400, split that in the middle and say 1,200, okay, a month times our margin of $4 and I forgot already. Let's see here, 29 cents. That's actually $5,149, $48. That is over $60,000 a year in net profits from selling bamboo toothbrushes. Pretty crazy, huh? So, you know, that's why I say you can certainly go through and do all this manually, but I mean, it took me 15 minutes, right, to find three products that combined, you know, we're probably at least 150 to 200,000 a year in net profits off of three products that I found in 15 minutes using Helium 10. So, you know, I think Helium 10 is around 90 or $100 a month, and if you use the coupon, you get half off that I put down below. So just this tool alone is well worth $100 a month, because we just uncovered, you know, 150 to $200,000 a year in products from it. But what's really cool is that that is not all it does. So I promised you a quick walkthrough. So let's do that. One thing, I'm not going to go in this because if I click on this, it's going to show all my products and my sales, which I don't want to do. So, but the cool thing is that when you sell on Amazon, if you're not already selling on Amazon, the one, you know, huge downside is that Amazon's reports and their payouts, they just give you a giant payout and you have no idea, you know, where that came from, what your actual net profits from each product was. And to try to do that manually from those reports would take probably days on end each month. So Helium 10 has a really cool profits tool where you can go in here and you can put in your product costs, And what it does is it breaks everything down and it takes all your fees out and it shows you exactly what you're making off of each product. There's a lot of software out there, programs that just do this alone, that charge 40, 50, $60 a month, even more than that for some of them, just to calculate all that for you and don't give you any of these other great tools. So this actually something new they just came out with a couple of months ago. So that is fantastic. I was actually paying another service. I was actually paying $40 a month for a completely separate service that did this. So I was able to get rid of that, because that's now part of the suite. And then the other thing that's really cool is right here they have Trendster. So let me show you, and this is something that's good to run on these guys. So if I were to go down here, this would also be a good thing to do before you decided on a product. There's actually a lot more that you need to do that I will kind of make a recommendation here in a minute on what you should do to get access to all those steps. But grab the ASIN if you're considering a product. Go here to this Trendster tool and put that in. And what it does is it tells you, it kind of pulls up what the average price is, because you never know, the sales price here that you're seeing right now could be a few different things. Sometimes there's a certain time of year where items sell better and they jack the price up, or they may be running low on inventory and they don't want to sell out, so they raise the price really high. So if you calculate what you think you're going to make just off the current price, you could be shooting yourself in the foot, because that may not be the normal price. So the nice thing is you can drop that here into Trendster and it will show you what price they have been at, for the last few months. So that's really cool. I like it. You can see here that they've actually been up around $14. Right now they're at one of their lowest points ever. They're at $12, but they were higher. So we know that $12, if we calculate that, that is going to be a good price. So if had they been, say, at $8 most of this whole time, and then they were just now up to 12, then that's something you might not want to do. You'd want to run the numbers at wherever they were, for the majority of the time, and make your decision from there. So this product would be definitely a go. You might could even get 13, 14. That's what they were getting up until just a month ago. So that's another great tool. Magnet, this is absolutely fantastic. This is for another video, but keyword research when you're trying to launch a product is critical. You have to choose your right keywords, and this will do that for you. And Cerebro is really cool too. If what this does is this does a reverse ASIN search. So let's say same thing, bamboo toothbrushes. If we wanted to know what keywords are these guys ranking for, and then what we can do is we can run that, and it goes to that listing and it pulls all the keywords that they're ranking for. It pulls in the search volume and gives you all of this great information. So you can go down here and you can kind of, there's a whole bunch of different filters. You can sort this every way from here to Sunday. So as you can see, here's some really great information. There's a lot of search volume. Here's where they are running sponsored ads. That's good to know. They're organically ranked number 7. So this gives you some great information, and that's for another training. But Frankenstein and Scribbles, those help you actually create your product listings. Index Checker that helps you to see if your product is actually indexed for these keywords. Otherwise, you have to do that manually, and that can get very tedious. Keyword tracker, that's really important, because you can put these keywords in when you launch and it'll track them every single day. Actually, it'll actually track them by the hour if you want, and so you can keep up with your progress and make sure your product launches are going good. Alerts, hijacks and product monitoring, all of this is stuff that kind of gets into some advanced techniques that are beyond this video, but just know these are also really good features. And Misspellinator is good. That checks for keywords that are misspelled, which sometimes you can get some really good nuggets there. And Refund Genie, this is huge, because if we go here, what it does is it goes and it checks Amazon for reimbursements, and it says, okay, you haven't been refunded for these certain things. Because what happens is Amazon loses product. Your inventory is kind of scary. I mean, they've lost pallets of my inventory before. I don't know how you lose an entire pallet, but it happens all the time. Sometimes they find it and reimburse you, and sometimes they don't. And what happens is Helium 10 goes in and it checks for you. And as you can see right now, actually, Amazon owes me up to $724. So that just paid for 7 months of the service, 7 or 8 months of the service right there. So I can download this report and then send that information in and get reimbursed for a lot of that, if not all of it. So this is absolutely a great feature because there's a lot of lost money there you wouldn't know about if you didn't have it. So anyway, that is it for this video. And oh, one more thing, I also wanted to say that a lot of these advanced features, if you're thinking about something on Amazon, you're brand new and you're not experienced yet, this tutorial I gave you today will definitely give you a head start and put you way ahead of everybody else. But I highly recommend that you purchase a thorough and up-to-date training course, because there's a lot of advanced techniques that you really need to know to give you that competitive advantage, because Amazon is a lot more competitive than it used to be. And you really do need an unfair advantage over your competitors. So I'm also going to put a link below to a training course. They have actually a free training. You don't even have to buy the course. If you watch this free training, they'll actually give you a lot of those advanced techniques for free. So make sure you check that out. That'll also put you way ahead of most sellers, even if you don't buy the course. But I highly recommend the course. But if you can't do it, at least watch the video and get those advanced techniques. So hope you enjoyed this. Go out, find some products, start making some money.